when I first saw you name it Dirt Pearl, I was like, oh, such a profound name. And then I heard a story where it come from, like, yeah, like, it just, yeah, because pearl is such a feminine object, right? It's such a feminine thing. And then when you add dirt to it, just think about, like, what does farming mean in terms of femininity, right? Are you still feminine enough when you're a farmer? Are you still feminine enough when you're dirty? But then farming also, is an act of nurturing as well.
Good morning. They don't make this is a 1904. I found it on a farm auction in Harrodsburg about 16 years ago. I had this thing before I built this granary. So they don't make them anymore, but this was state of the art when the corn picker came in, even pulled by a horse.
Statistically, a lot of the new farmers, maybe the bulk of them, are women.
Yeah.
Truly, that are like choosing to steward the land and like want to be in this sort of relationship with it. And a lot of them, I mean, all of my mentors when I was younger were all single woman farmers. Susanna was one of them. Susanna was one of the first women that I worked for. In North Carolina, I worked for a lavender farmer. But I mean, that's largely been the portrait that I've seen. I mean, there have been some men along the way, obviously, but like for me, the whole field has been colored by like woman farmers. So
Your grandfather did not explain anything well, even as a young person or as a girl. Do you feel like that helped you?
I feel like it helped harden me and made me work harder than the boys to be accepted in whatever task it was on the farm. I always wanted to be a boy because I felt like the real important people in my life and like change makers valued boys more than girls. It's so nice to just like drown out the noise of your raising of like, you're not good enough, you're from this place, you sound like this, you're stupid because of this. And just because the negative voices are the loudest and that's what we grow up thinking or being like fed, doesn't make it reality. And I feel like overall the big picture that I grew to know and love is that like we have such a rich culture and such capabilities and strengths and vibrancy that it's like the negative leeches are just like feeding and perpetuating that to hold us down. And it's so important to recognize like that's all just noise. Like this is my mission in life, and it just feels so good to feel that,
When you say us, do you mean us as Appalachians, Kentuckians, female?
Yeah, all that, I guess. Yeah, all that. First Appalachians, but yeah, it's even as you add the layers of like stereotyping and like being held down. I'm not all the way at the bottom, but I'm closer than like all my brothers, or I'm closer than someone from another state or whatever. Like I definitely feel super privileged and blessed beyond measure just from like my circumstances. And with all that, those blessings come like a greater obligation and self-recognition of responsibility of like, I have to do this because why the hell else would I have all this stuff going for me unless it was for this mission? And I feel like everybody should feel that way. Like if you're born in America, you're already better off than some people. If you're born with this privilege or you have this opportunity, like those are all things that add to, there's some reason why you've been given that. It's like, yeah, we should just use any power that we have for good.
How do your neighbors like your yard in?
Some do, some don't.
Yeah?
Yeah. some do, some don't. And, just like everything else you do that's different. And some do, some don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was, when I was reading ecofeminism, and when I decided on this career of, farming, growing food, and I knew what I was doing was revolutionary, in terms of the big context of the global food system of capitalism. But I thought nobody else would know, because it's just gardening, right? It's just playing with dirt, it's just gardening. And then when I got a backlash from very conservative people that we all know right in town, and I was like, wow, so they also recognize how revolutionary my act is. Even though I was just here quietly, peacefully gardening, like playing with dirt, that's it, like doing the most mundane thing. So, yeah. And this is the thing, right, about gardening. Like, for me, I do it really for my own, I do it because I like it, right? And I like it maybe for some very deep reasons, and maybe for some very, immediate reasons, that just because it makes me feel good. But for lots of people, when they express very strong reactions towards my garden, whether it's they really love it, they think it's the best, or they're like, you're doing like such important work, or people who are like this is such a mess, like it's an eyesore, it's so terrible, and if I want to see this, I'll live in the country, right? Like that kind of and I'm just like, neither of them are real. Neither of those reactions are real or really define what I am. Like, I could really immerse myself in I could really, let myself just settle in the positive reactions and truly believe what I'm doing is so amazing and so important, and therefore, everybody should make way for me. Or I could settle, I could let myself just drown in the negative reactions and believe what I'm doing here is really that terrible, really that bad, and that ugly. But it's not. Yeah, neither of it is true, because what I'm doing is my choice, and nobody need to make a way for me, right? What I'm doing is no better than what anybody else is doing. We're just all living life, but also it's no worse than anybody else neither, right? Eventually, you have to transplant all those plants, sow the seeds, weed the weeds to make it happen.